are going to go ahead and move on. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a quick little dance break. Brought to you by my North Carolina Tar Heels. 3-0. Let's go. When you're the host of the show, you can put on your stuff. Nathan, you want to put your Maryland stuff on? Let's go.
I mean, technically, UNC is better than Texas A&M now.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Barely. Well, we gave up 61 daggone points.
You gave up 40 in the fourth quarter.
40 in the fourth.
Yeah,
right.
I was going to say, let's not dance too much there, pal. You gave up 40 points to Appalachian State in the fourth quarter. Come on. And if you're lucky you didn't lose that game. So, yeah, let's not get too excited.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah, but I'll take point conversions that probably should have been converted.
That's got to be the only time. What happened, Nathan? Say it again.
Dance break, more like study break.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right, Nathan. You got one more time, buddy. Where's the flag? You need to throw a flag on that one. All right?
Hey, he's happy because his Maryland Terrapins are playing well, okay? Let's give Nate some there.
Against two. Who have they
played? Hey, a win's a win, bro. Right as a win, not a win. You're happy. Let Nate have his time. Maryland, go Maryland.
We have to move on. Ladies and gentlemen, we're so glad you guys are here with us. But one of the things that is going on, we know today is the first game for many of the teams in the league. There's obviously some night games and a Monday night. But with that, there's something that's unique about this season. There are a number of quarterbacks who are starting with new teams. And at one point, most of these quarterbacks started somewhere else, and now they're almost rejuvenating their career. Some of them potentially on their last leg. Some of them maybe trying to restart their career. Some of them with baggage. All of them with some kind of baggage. Let's go ahead and look into these quarterbacks. And I'm going to come to you first, Nick. We got Mitch going to Pittsburgh. We know he started with you guys. We got Mariota in Atlanta. Matt Ryan, who left Atlanta for Indy, went in Washington. Geno in Seattle. Wilson leaving Seattle for Denver. And Baker, still talking, in Carolina. Look, I mean, talk to me about what do you think about these? I mean, starting with your quarterback right there, Mitch.
Well, I think Mitch does get a kind of a second chance. I mean, he wasn't going to play in Buffalo last year, let's be honest. So this is definitely his second chance to prove that he can be an NFL quarterback. Yeah. Now, again, he's in a better situation in general just because he has a better head coach in Mike Tomlin than he had in Matt Nagy in Chicago. Let's just be honest about that up front. So, I'm sure there's more support for Mitch because it's been very well documented that Matt Nagy was not a Mitch Trubisky fan and tried to implement his offense and go against all of the strengths that Mitch has. So that's why that offense never worked and never would have. So I'm kind of happy for Mitch that he gets a second chance here. But I'm going to reserve judgment till, I'm going to see what the kid can do. I know he can throw. I've seen his arm. He can move out of the pocket, and that's what you got to do. You got to roll him out, get him into situations where he can read what's in front of him because he's not the best at reading defenses. But if you get the kid out of the pocket and you get him moving and, he can do some things for you. So I'll be interested to see what he does, with guys like, Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool and all these guys. We'll see what Mitch can do with them. And hopefully Mitch has a good year. He's got a great back in Najee Harris. So I think you give Mitch a little protection, you give him some time, you see what he can do. I think he'll be okay. Now, to me, as far as these lists, and I'll be really quick with this, how can you not feel like Russell Wilson is set up for an MVP season with going to Denver? With the talent he has there. But I mean, come on.
For 2 weeks.
No, what? Yeah, I know. But still, you got Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Javonte Williams. You got a good defense there. I mean, I think Denver's going to make some noise in that AFC West for sure. Again, he's in the best. I think he's in the best situation of all these quarterbacks. I would say maybe Matt Ryan is second in terms of being set up to succeed in a way. But yeah, I think you got to look at Denver with Russ and go, hey, I like what you guys can do there. Again, and I know people injuries, but as long as they stay healthy, man, I look for Denver to do big things. I think Russ lucked up, got into a better situation for himself. This line will protect him, unlike Seattle's protecting him last year. So I think Denver does well. Russ is in a good situation. And Matt Ryan, I believe, is also.
Well, yeah, and that, I mean, you mentioned Denver, and it's funny because he's actually going to one of the mini revenge games this weekend where he's going to play Seattle, who now all of a sudden, after he left, procured a line. They have an offensive line with some of the rookies and some of the moves that they've made. So, and with Gino, they will potentially protect Gino, who is starting over there a little bit better.
I know.
Dylan, I'm coming to you, man. I kind of agree. Matt Ryan is a great spot. Russ potentially is a great spot. I don't know if he'll have instant success, but Dylan, who do you think on this list is in the best spot to have a good year this year?
Well, so obviously, like Russell Wilson's in a great spot, going from the Seattle team that had 2 wide receivers and nothing else. The Broncos now have still 2 very good wide receivers, decent tight end, even without Noah Fan, and actual offensive line. But I think out of everyone here, probably Matt Ryan set up the best because he's got the offensive line. Colts offensive line has been very good since Andrew Luck retired. And they have Jonathan Taylor, so he doesn't have to worry about having to throw the ball every play. And he still has Michael Pittman, a big body. His Paris Campbell, who, if he can stay healthy, is a great speedster. So I think Matt Ryan is probably set up best for success, especially in a pretty weak AFC South. So I think they're probably the best chance to go as far as they can in the playoffs.
Now, let me ask you this, because this comment came out earlier. Colts have not won an opening game in 8 seasons. Will they beat the Texans today?
I hope so. I mean, it is the Texans. But listen, I remember the last time this happened. The Colts, they haven't won in Jacksonville in however many seasons. And all of us.
Remember what happened there? And I called it, baby.
Yeah, all of us, but Nick just went, oh, there's no way that the Jaguars can win. Who cares? These don't actually matter at all. But then we saw it matters. So
it matters, baby.
So I think the Colts will win. But I can see it being a very close game just from these years past.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Steve.
Davis Mills and Dameon Pierce, baby. There you go.
Hey, come on. Watch out. Now, you want to talk about things that don't matter. Check the screen, Nathan.
Wow.
Sean, strike one.
Yeah, strike one for Sean. That's right. There you go.
Let's go.
Get him, Nate. Get him.
Yo, but Nathan, what are you thinking? What are you thinking on this list? You see the guys, Mariota, Matt Ryan, Wentz. Who do you think's going to have the success?
I think all of them will have moderate success. I'm going to give an honorable mention, Jacoby Brissett. He showed flashes starting in Miami. For the next 12 games, he'll be the guy in Cleveland. Gino right now, between him and Drew Lock, they're just placeholders in 2 and get most likely for this season. Because by all means, it looks like Seattle will draft the new franchise face, in my opinion. I think they'll draft a quarterback next year. Carson, I think a lot of people are sleeping on him because I think of what happened last year. I understand going into this year, there's a lot of pressure. With Frank Wright, I think as a collective unit, the Colts. He's coming into a better situation. You have Terry McLaurin. You get a healthy Curtis Samuel, Dobson. You even have Logan Thomas, and you've got a decent running game with a good offensive line as well. So I really think all of them, I think, will have moderate success. But I think I'll say the most. I think everyone's kind of sleeping on Carson. If you pushed me out of all of these on this list currently, I'd say Baker Mayfield too. I think this is Baker's year to prove his worth as well, because what happened last year, being the scapegoat of Cleveland's failure. Even though I think they rushed him back from that, he gets to play with the guy who didn't want him there, Robbie Anderson. You also play with probably the most underrated in DJ Moore. I think everybody on this list, like I said. Well, those guys, even including Jacoby Brissett, will have moderate success this year.
No, yeah. I mean, and look, as long as C-Mac is healthy, I think Baker's going to shine. And even with C-Mac not healthy, I think he has a couple weapons in DJ Moore and that backup Chuba Hubbard, Robbie Anderson, like you said, he can do it. Now, what I did hear, shout out to my guy Johnny Dean, who was talking about this. CMC strained his calf in practice, so he is on the injury report. I've looked on my fantasy, and it's not. He still shows that
He's
he's
playing
playing.
this week. Yeah,
he's still
He's
playing.
playing. Yeah, he's playing.
So we're good. But just that is definitely something to take a
already
look
starting.
at. Oh man, hey Sean, leave my Falcons out of this. We do doggone. Oh, you know what? Let's start there. I'm going to start on this side. Who I think is going to succeed. I agree. Matt Ryan, honestly. Russ has the position. I think it's going to take a little longer. Baker, we'll see. Let's flip this over to who we think is going to struggle the most, and I am going to go to Atlanta.
I was also going to go to Atlanta.
Mariota. Okay.
I think we all agree it's Atlanta, right? Mariota there. I don't know.
It's between Mariota and Geno.
Yeah.
I was going to say Geno personally because I think he's going to struggle in Seattle, even though he's got Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Geno's got to get out of his own head and realize that he has potential there. He's got to show up. Let's be honest. Geno's been in the league a long time, and he's had a few opportunities to start. And I think this is the one. If he really wants to show that he can play in this league, now is the time. You've got decent receivers and a decent running game. So I mean, you got to, and the offensive line got better as we've all talked about after Russ left.
Yeah.
So you've got your opportunity now to absolutely show what you can do. They gave you the ball. Now you got to run with it, Geno. So I'm interested to see. But I do think out of this list, I would have picked Geno as the guy to have the least amount of success right now at this point.
Yeah. I have to agree. And look, he did have the weapons. Yeah, I really shout him out real quick because, like you said, Nick, he has bounced around. He has been in a number of different places. And coming out of college, he was highly touted out of West Virginia, and it didn't really pan out. But they did see something in him. They saw something in him that the coaches like that. Maybe they wanted him in there. I'm glad for that. But Nathan, who do you think is going to struggle? Do you agree that it's Geno or Mariota, or who do you think is going to struggle?
I think it's Mariota because the Falcons stink. I'm sorry.
Fair point.
It's no
hard to argue.
It's now that I think they've realized, okay, we have to do it for the future. There's no disrespect to those guys. Like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, you have that operator who I think will be a star in this league. Now you have to build for the future. Like Mariota's just a placeholder until they figure out what their identity is. Like Geno's is a better situation because you got a respectable defense with Jamal Adams back there. You still have a decent offense that can get that can put up 20, 25 points in. Like the Seahawks weren't that bad last year. Just the team was just different. So I think Geno will have. I think the Seahawks will have a lot more success than the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, Falcons are not really playing for much this year, other than let's just be a little bit. Let's be respectable, and try to be competitive, but know that we're rebuilding.
They're playing for Will Anderson.
Well, Alabama, they want that pick for sure. Look, I you know what? I'm in agreement with you guys. I mean, I just don't think, we know Atlanta doesn't really have a running game. They're trying to do it with Cordero Patterson, and that's just not going to work it out. Geno, like you said, Nick, Geno, they've added a lot of pieces. So for all intents and purposes, Geno should at least be moderately successful, like Nate was saying. I want to look at the first person we talked about. Nick, first person you talked about was Mitch. And it's not because he can't do it. There are things, like you said, him reading is a little bit, struggles with that. But I think that's a situation where you have somebody right behind you that has proved to be the fan favorite. It's proved to be people love Pickett. You know what I mean? They're all about it. I just think that's going to affect the amount of time that Mitch gets. If Mitch doesn't come in here and succeed right away, I think those people in Pittsburgh are going to be calling for, Mitch's head and let's get the rookie in here. And while it might not be right, and I think Tomlin's going to give him a little bit more time, I think that Mitch he's really kind of, we talked about in college hot seats. I think he's really on a hot seat to kind of make some things happen because, like Nathan has talked about, the rest of the AFC North is rearing to go. Now, Cleveland, but Cincinnati, we're ready to do it. Lamar is rearing. He knows he has the ball out this year for the Ravens. Pittsburgh, look, they got to the playoffs barely, by the skin of their teeth. I think they're really needing him to do something because, look, they don't want to have a losing season for the first time under Tomlin.
I agree. I mean, I'm pulling for Mitch. Don't get me wrong. I'm pulling for Mitch. I hope he does well.
Wait a minute.
I think he got a raw deal. I think he got a raw deal in Chicago, so I got to pull for Mitch. I got to pull for Mitch in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Let's be honest. Like, watching Ben Roethlisberger was like watching Michael Jordan, almost. Like in
the later years.
Where does this go?
In the later years.
Yeah, I want to know where this is going.
With
What
the
are you
Wizards.
talking about?
Yeah, you got to say that part. With the Wizards.
Yeah, no, I thought they were talking about prime Michael Jordan.
What? What are you talking about? Nate needs some sleep. Stop being up late at night doing podcasts. You got to need some sleep, bro. What are you talking about? No, I'm kidding.
Like, he was a year older. Like, I don't think that's fair to put that much pressure on Mitch when your team.
I agree.
Needs to be rebuilt. I mean, let's be honest. You gave a little too much offense on Najee's shoulder, and that may come back to bite them. I mean, your defense wasn't healthy last year for the most part. I mean, you get healthy. I just think that I don't think that's fair to say, okay, you need at least we need to win the AFC North. If we win it, we're putting this kid in. And I don't think putting Kenny Pickett in there week 1, like, I think that's setting him up to fail. I think you need.
I agree. I definitely agree. I'm just saying he's going to be in a position where he's going to have to look over his shoulder the most because of the fan thing.
I don't think that's the case. I just think Mitch just has to go out there and just be a game manager, be a Trent Dilfer. That's it. He don't get.
If he messes up in that category, if he messes up doing that, this is look. What I'm saying is not negative to Mitch. I'm not saying he cannot do it. I'm saying that it is clear that the fan base in Pittsburgh are all interested in the young guy. Mitch is a stopgap, in my opinion, for what people are waiting for. I don't want Pickett to come in. I'm just thinking he's going to be the one where the media, not us, but the media is going to say, Mitch, watch out. He threw 2 interceptions. Pickett, look at Pickett. Is it right? No, not at all. It's not right. But I'm just saying that's what the narrative is going to be.
No, I hear you. I'm just saying, I'm not going to put him out there right now if Mitch. Like, if we put Kenny Pickett out there and he struggles, what's the excuse? Oh, it's rookies go through it. Like, no, if you're putting expectation like, oh, Mitch struggled, put Kenny in there, then what? So
yeah, I understand. I get what you're saying. I'm leaning towards the Dolphins situation from a couple years ago with Fitz. You got Fitz in there. He's doing great. He's having a winning season, and they yank him mid-year because they're like, oh, we want to go in the new direction. I'm looking at San Francisco with Jimmy G. Took him to the Super Bowl a couple years back, has him in the NFC Championship, and now because he has injury problems, they're going to put him out for the heir apparent. You know what I mean? What everybody's trying to do to Jordan Love. I just think that's what the league is trying to do, stuff like that. They're trying to go, let's go for this guy. Come on, he's the new guy. You know, except in Washington. We don't let that guy say that.
I'd love to see if Mitch Trubisky was actually really good. Like really, really good. Because then what do you do with Kenny Pickett? Kenny Pickett's 24 already. So you really kind of need him to play either this year or start of next year. Or else you're just wasted. He's not going to have as many years as Trey Lance, who came in at 21, or someone like Patrick Mahomes. So Pickett has to get in somewhat quickly. So if Trubisky becomes actually the guy he was supposed to be coming out of UNC, then Kenny Pickett's already just going to be in a Jordan Love situation.
We'll see. Hey, shout out to Johnny D and saying Sean Spitzer, Pittsburgh don't hear the narrative, bro. The Rooneys hear Tomlin. Absolutely. That's why. Yeah. So that's why. Hey, Mitch will probably get in here. But look, we got to move on. Like you said, under 20 minutes until the game. Didn't want to address this. Zagnif forgot to say, come on, Nate. I gave your Terp some props, some mad props yesterday. Et tu, Brutus. Et tu. Oh.
Brute. That's because you talked about his Falcons. He got upset.
Yeah. Said they were got bad.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.